morning, guys. All right, start with a regular butterfly warm-up. So standing nice and wide, reaching up towards the ceiling, coming down, breathing in and exhaling as you reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale down, exhale up. Good, back and forth. You're just getting your blood flowing. You can go faster, you can go slower. It's up to you. Reach up, elongate that spine as you reach up towards the ceiling. Keep those weights in your heels so you're leaning back into the squat and not bending your knees over your toes. Good, breathe. Nice, deep inhales and exhales. Good. Up and down. Let's pick it up just a little bit. Going a little bit faster now. Still noticing your breath. When is it comfortable for you to inhale? When is it comfortable for you to exhale? Good rule of thumb is 2-second inhale, 4-second exhale. Good, breathe. Feel free to close your eyes. They don't have to be open for this part, although it might make your balance a little bit harder to handle, which is fine. All right, breathe. Up and down. Pick it up a little bit faster. I'm alternating which arm is in front and which arm is in the back too as I'm crossing them over. Breathe. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to the middle. Hands come together. Close your eyes. Press those hands up against your chest. You can feel that heart beating. And focus on your inhale and your exhale. 2 seconds inhaling. 4 seconds exhaling through your lips. I want you to feel like there's a straight line running from the base of your skull all the way down into the heels of your feet. So your weight is still leaning into those heels so you can feel secure on the ground. Breathe, lift and lengthen that spine. Good, regain control of that central nervous system. Calm that breathing down. Good. Breathe. All right, go ahead, step to the edge of your mat, or the end of your mat. I want you to lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Lengthen that spine. Slight pelvic tilt in, so tucking that tailbone in as you reach. Reach, reach, reach. Elongate that spine. Hinge from your hips, so pushing those hips back. Feeling a good stretch in your hamstrings. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And walk out into a plank. Actively push the ground away. Hold here. And breathe. Good. Push back into down dog. Adjust your feet so they feel comfortable. I usually do mine hip width apart. You can do wider if it feels more comfortable on your hips. Now push the ground away. Keep those ears between your shoulder blades and keep that tailbone untucked. So you don't want it tucked in and having a curved back. You want to keep that tailbone untucked. Alternate bent knees so you can drive that heel down if you're having trouble, if it's not quite warmed up yet. Breathe. Good. All right, let's take our left leg, send it straight back. Swing it up to your left hand. Hold. You're gonna drop your knee, breathe for a second, and then you're gonna pop it back up. So drop it, and then up. Drop it, and up, drop it, and up. Breathe. Make sure that your knee is not like this. Make sure that your ankle and your knee of this front leg are in line. Breathe up and down, up and down. All right, now keep it up, or you can keep it down. Either way, it just depends on you. Open up towards that front leg that's bent in the front, which for us is our left leg. Reach up towards that ceiling. Breathe. Good. Rotate back. Now you're going to grab onto your foot, because we're going to be doing stuff on our legs a lot today. So we're going to warm up our hips a little bit more. So you're going to hold onto your foot. I am leaning into my hip. So my hip back here, I'm not at a 90-degree angle. So this hip is not stacked over the knee. I'm leaning into it, making sure this knee and this ankle is in line. And I'm holding onto my foot so it doesn't roll with me, and I'm driving my knee out, okay? So it's not like, this is the normal stretch where the foot rolls, but we're not letting the foot roll. So we're doing the same thing, driving that knee out while still gluing that foot to the floor. Breathe. As best you can, try to relax your hips. My hips are really tight because I did a leg workout a few days ago, and they're still really tight. So I can feel my hips wanting to kind of like seize up. And so I kind of actively have to think about relaxing them and letting me just fall a little bit deeper into this pose. All right, shift your weight back, knee still driving out to the side. Now this back knee is going to create a 90-degree angle. So we are rocking back into it, driving this knee outward, gluing this foot to the floor. This is stretching your hip socket, actually. So that's why this stretch, if you've never done it before, it can feel kind of intense. Breathe. All right, bring it back. We're going back into down dog. So coming back into down dog. And notice right now, after you just did that, how do your hips feel? Do they feel a little bit looser? Obviously, we've only done it on the one side, but I can tell you for sure that this leg feels way more comfortable driving that heel down towards the ground and making sure my alignment is correct. All right, let's take our right leg, send it back, swing it through, right leg to right hand. Help it if you need to. No shame in helping that foot get to the right position. Let's drop that knee just for a second. Lift it up. Drop it down. Lift it up. Back and forth. Breathe. Back. Down. Up. Down. Up. Breathe. 2 more. All right, now you can either stay here or you can come back on your toes. We're gonna rotate towards our right leg, up towards the ceiling, looking towards those fingers, and breathe. Good, keep holding. All right, I'm gonna face y'all again so you can see it. Coming forward now, again, not having that 90-degree bend in that knee, but leaning forward into it, grabbing onto that foot, and letting that knee drive out. And we're gonna do down dog after this, so you'll feel what it's like to have both hips fully warmed up when you go into down dog. Y'all let me know if it feels different for you, because it definitely feels different for me. Breathe. Driving that knee out. A lot of times when I'm doing this stretch, it feels like I'm not doing anything at all, in the sense that, or it looks like I'm not doing it. I feel it, I definitely feel it, but I always feel like it looks like I'm not doing anything, but it's amazing the difference from here to here that I'll feel in my hip. Now this side is not nearly as tight, so that feeling of restriction or tightening up in my hips, I'm not feeling it as much on this side. My left side tends to be extremely tight, I have imbalances, so my left hip is always a lot tighter and a lot more uncomfortable with pose. Like right now, my hip flexor on my left side is like, that wants to tighten up. My hips are actually okay on this side. All right, let's lean back, driving that knee outwards. Breathe. Now I am again making that 90-degree angle with that back leg, and I'm still trying to drive that knee out. It's funny because when I go back, I can really feel my foot wants to turn with it. It doesn't want to stay glued to the ground. That's where your hand comes in. Breathe. Good, all right, release. Let's go back into down dog. We're just gonna see how it feels. And this is perfectly prepping us for this next awesome core movement that I love and I kind of hate at the same time. So I'm sorry ahead of time. But come into down dog. Just see how your hips feel. Pushing the ground away, making sure our ears are between our shoulder blades, not keeping our tailbone tucked. Remember, we're untucking, pushing back. And now for me, that makes a massive difference. I can now totally feel more comfortable in this position than when I first started. So breathe, elongate that spine, push those heels down, tailbone untucked. Breathe and roll forward into plank. Now you can hold plank if you want while I show you this next one, or you can drop a knee and rest while I show you. I'm gonna have to face you. Well, I'll do it both ways so you can see. I have to face you because this lovely wall is gonna prevent me from doing both sides accurately. So I'm gonna show you, I'll show you to the side and I'll show you forward. So what you're gonna be doing is in a plank, you're gonna be taking your left leg to start, and you're gonna be trying to bring this foot up to your hand without like bending it. So as opposed to this, which we've done before, you're trying to keep it straight for as long as you can. And notice I'm like kind of halfway between a down dog and a plank. That gives me more room. You can come all the way into a down dog if you want and do this. Lean forward. It'll make it more intense on your shoulders, okay? Or you can hold kind of like this high, awkward plank almost, and just focus on bringing your foot back and forth. Now, if this is all you got, or you're here, that's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry if your toes don't touch your hands like mine are. It is no big deal. You're still gonna feel this no matter what. So you're gonna come into that position. Again, you can do it from down dog. It'll make it a little more intense on your shoulders, and you're still gonna work your abs just the same. All right, so get into your position. You can also do this on your knees, by the way, and just bring your toe out while you're still on that back knee, okay? All right, get into position, pushing the ground away, bringing toes out, bring it back in, breathe. That's 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and alternate sides. 1, or not alternate sides, but switching sides. 2, 3. Try not to like drag. See how I'm like dragging my foot back? Try not to do that. Try to pick up your foot the whole time. Really use that oblique. This is gonna help you a ton with your control when you're bringing your foot to your hand in those hip flexor stretches. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees, go into child's pose. Now, something that's gonna probably feel really good right now is doing the stretch through, but then doing something a little bit different and opening up that arm towards the ceiling to help stretch out those obliques, that back, as you rest. All right, so I recommend doing some of these in between. Ooh, I'm tight. Breathe. Good, Good. Where do y'all feel that more? Shoulders or abs? Because right now, my shoulders are on fire. Half the time I'm working abs, I'm also working shoulders, it seems. All right, we are gonna do 3 total rounds of that, and that's gonna get us just like super warmed up. And this next section, after we do this, is gonna be standing, and it's gonna probably feel easy compared to this. So y'all, we'll have a little break after this, I promise. So go ahead and come back into that position. You can try it different this time. So if you did it on your toes, you can try doing it in down dog this time. You can try doing it on your knees if you're feeling tired, or just do it the same. Doesn't matter. You can try it all out. All right, coming back into that position. Remember to pick up that foot. Don't drag it back. Don't cheat yourself, right? So try and give the best that you can, and don't let yourself cheat on purpose. Unless you're really tired, then that's okay. All right, coming into plank. Bring it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathe. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost there. 9, 10. Woo, drop a knee, child's pose, hold, or you can add in those rotations that I already showed you, okay? It's up to you. If you feel like doing some of those rotations, go ahead and do it. Catch your breath. Deep breathing. This also feels really good, like for me, since my shoulders are really tight, I'm gonna put my palm facing out and just put it kind of on my low back. It just helps me stretch out that shoulder a little bit more. And breathe. All right, reach this hand overhead. You want a little bit of a different stretch. See how I'm walking my hands out and away from this hand. It's gonna change the stretch a little bit too, and that can feel lovely. All right, switch sides. If you are doing the twist, if you're just holding child's pose, keep holding child's pose. Open up. Again, I'm doing palm facing out, putting it on my low back. Making that shoulder stretch a little deeper. Breathe. Now I'm going to reach overhead for me and walk, 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 walk the opposite way. Breathe. Y'all ready to do your third round? Breathe. 10 reps on both sides, and then you're done with this part. All right, let's do it. On your knees, on your toes, down dog, whatever you can do, guys. You can do it. Let's get into position. Push that ground away. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 10 more on this side. 1, 2, we're almost there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, yes, we made it. All right, come back down, stretch it out. Again, adding in that rotation if you want. I'm gonna just go ahead and do that side reach that I did at the end. Do whatever feels best for your recovery right now. Breathe. Gonna switch sides. Breathe. All right, come all the way up onto your feet. This next one is our standing series. So we're gonna be going into Warrior 1, Warrior 2, And then we're going to change our hips, or at least what they're doing. So in Warrior One, your hips are driving forward, right? Don't cheat yourself and let this hip turn out. That only happens when we go into Warrior Two. So make sure your hips are driving straight forward. They are in line with what your feet are doing, okay? And so other than your back foot. Your back foot is slightly turned out, most likely, but that still means your hips are driving forward in Warrior One. When you switch to Warrior Two, I'm gonna open up my hips, right? So this front leg is bent. Warrior Two, front leg is bent. And I'm just gonna adjust. I'm gonna walk my toes forward to make sure my knee and my ankle are in line. And then we're gonna go into triangle pose. Now triangle pose, where it's gonna change is this leg is gonna straighten out. So make sure this leg doesn't stay straight while you're doing all the other poses. It's supposed to be bent. So when you get into triangle pose, you're gonna straighten out that leg and you're gonna booty pop out in the back. That's kind of what it looks like, right? So you booty pop it out, and then you're gonna come down, and you should feel a good stretch in this inside part of your leg. Look up towards your hand. Okay, so that is the series that we're gonna move through. So coming into Warrior One, elongate that spine, lengthen up towards the ceiling, bending that front leg, back foot slightly angled out so it feels comfortable on your ankle. You do not have to be on a tightrope for this. So that means your ankles and your heels don't have to be in the line. They can be stepped out apart, okay? Do whatever feels best. Drive those hips forward. Lengthen that spine up towards the ceiling. Rotate into Warrior Two. I am going to shift my weight slightly forward so I can put more a little more weight on top of this leg so I can get a little bit of a better workout. So I'm leaning forward, weight is set over this one. This is just holding me in place. My front leg is holding my weight. Now I'm gonna straighten that leg, bend forward as far as I can to make a nice triangle pose. Look up towards your hand if you can. You can put your hand on the ground, that's awesome. If you can't, put it on your ankle or your shin, never your knee. Okay, you can even rest your elbow on your quad, but not on your knee. Breathe, look up. Hold, lift. Back into Warrior One. I'm gonna now change my foot position because we're gonna move through a little faster. So if you notice, I'm gonna be kind of on my toes of that back leg so I can move in and out of the poses a little faster. So I'm gonna lean in, sink down a little bit deeper. Breathe. Warrior Two. Shift into triangle. Breathe. See, this is easy compared to that ab movement you just did. Back into Warrior One. Sinking deeper if I can, making sure my knee is stacked over my ankle and I'm not like this. I don't want to be like that. I want to have a nice sturdy base, so my knee over that ankle. Warrior Two, leaning into it, coming into triangle. Breathe. Come out of this with control, so use those obliques. Back into Warrior One. Breathe. I'm really trying to stretch out this hip flexor as well as I'm holding this. So I'm really driving my hips forward and really staying on the balls of, or the toes of my foot. Breathe, rotate to Warrior Two, hold. Come into triangle. Breathe. Come up one more round. Warrior One. Reaching up. Warrior Two. Leaning forward over that leg. Straighten it out. Coming up. Breathe. And up. Good. All right, now I'm just gonna switch on over to the other side. So rotating around to the other side. The good thing about doing it that way is your leg position should already be good. You shouldn't have to really adjust too much. But if you did step closer, just readjust, get into the correct position. Come down, making sure ankle is stacked over your knee. Lifting up, elongate that spine. Warrior two. This side is gonna be tighter because it's not as warmed up now. So make sure you move accordingly. You don't have to go as fast through these at first. Lengthen out, stretch out that leg, look up towards the ceiling. Again, this is always my tighter side, right? So I'm gonna take it a little bit slower, moving through the movements at first. Coming back into warrior one. I'm gonna sink a little deeper now. I'm changing that foot position because I wanna go a little faster. Breathe. Warrior two. Leaning over that leg. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Notice what your knee is doing. Straighten it out. Triangle. Remember, if you can touch the ground, that's great. If you can touch your shin, that's great. If you need to put your elbow on your quad, that's great too. Do whatever you need to. Come up. Warrior one. Breathe, lengthening, pushing those hips forward, lengthening this hip flexor. Breathe. Lean forward. Straighten out that leg. And down. Good. Now I'm starting to feel warmed up, and I'm sure y'all are too. Good. Warrior one. Breathe, lengthen. Warrior two. Triangle. Breathe. Up. Warrior one. Warrior two. Triangle. We got one more after this on this side. Then we got a little cardio. A little cardio after this. I'll get to see me to get totally out of breath. Breathe, warrior two. Last triangle down. Come up. And bring your feet together. Kind of walk them out a little bit. So this next one is gonna be, these are called Hindu squats. We've done them in these classes before, but I call this the Hindu hinge because it's more of a kind of forward fold hinge instead of a squat. So what you're gonna be doing is hinging from your hips. So your knees aren't gonna be moving. That's always something I say when you do these. Your knees don't move at all. So your knees shouldn't be coming forward. Like you shouldn't be doing this motion. It needs to be like there's a band around your hips and it's pushing your hips back. So imagine somebody has a band and they're just like pulling your hips back. It should be your hips moving, not your knees. So you're gonna reach down like you're doing a forward fold. So if it helps, even just push on your like the bony part of your pelvis that you can feel here, push it back. Make sure your knees stay neutral. You're gonna come up, squeeze your glutes, and drive your elbows back. So hips go back. Big exhale as you pull your back and squeeze those shoulder blades. Okay, so we're gonna do it a little bit faster. So once you can get the movement down, then you can go as fast as you like. But if it feels uncomfortable on your low back at all, then slow it down. Okay, so start with that hinge hip. Bring it down. Big exhale at the top. I inhale as I come down. Exhale as I come up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And you don't need to be like touching the ground. It's just a little hinge. So don't feel the need to go all the way forward. The goal here is to drive those hips. Push them forward. Squeeze those glutes. It's amazing how this exercise will get my hamstrings really kind of tender the next day. And there's no weight. It's just correct positioning and really actively driving those hips forward. Breathe, guys. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going right into reverse lunges. So come to the front of your mat. You're stepping back. You don't need to touch your knee to the ground unless you want to. But you're going to come into a reverse lunge and up. Reverse lunge, up. This makes sure that the knee and your ankle are in alignment. So bring it back and forward. I'm trying not to take the weight off of this leg. Notice I'm just tapping my foot forward and back. Breathe. We got 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides, back and up. Again, notice, see how I'm just like tapping the front. I'm trying to make this leg do all the work. Keep that chest lifted. Breathe. Excellent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet together and rest. Deep breathing. 2-second inhale, 4-second exhale. Close your eyes if you need to. We're doing that all over again in a second once we have our breath catched. Breath catched. That's a... I think I changed the order of those words. It's the same. You'll know what I mean. All right. Let's take 5 quick little breaths. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Go right into it. Push those hips back. Drive those elbows forward. Big breath at the top. Remember, your knees aren't working here. It's your hips. Squeeze those glutes. Push those hips forward. Squeeze the back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Going right into those reverse lunges. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to 15, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest. One more round. All right, and then we're almost done. Oh my goodness. Time flies when you're having fun, right? At least that's what they say. All right, close your eyes if you need to. Deep inhales, long exhales. Feel that heart rate start to come down. Breathe. Deep inhale. Relax those shoulders. Let's take 3 little breaths. We're going right back into it to finish off. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Drive those hips back. Hips pushing back. Lean forward. Come up. Squeeze those glutes. Big exhale at the top, guys. Don't forget. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right into those reverse lunges. 15 on each side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, woo, 15. Take a second, come all the way down onto your mat. Hands behind you, legs open wide. Just sit here, alternate your knees dropping from side to side. Feel free to close your eyes. Catch your breath. Back and forth. Slow that heart rate down. Breathe. Let's drop them to one side. So you got that 90-degree angle with both legs. Come out from your knee at an angle like this. So if I draw a line from my knee, I'm going to come out here so I'm not parallel to my shin bone, but I'm coming out from my knee. Come down. You don't have to go down onto your forearms. You can stay on your hands. Or you can see if you can go down onto your forearms. You can even put your head on the ground if you want. And rest. Good, just keep breathing. Let's take 3 more breaths here and then we're going to just rotate to the other side. Ooh, come up nice and slow. And just shift mine, but you just rotate your knees to the other side. You don't have to shift like I am. Rotate out 90 degrees with both legs. They both have 90-degree angle. Come out, add an angle from that knee. Again, if you want, come onto those forearms and come onto that head too if you'd like. And rest, just breathe. Good, 2 more breaths here. Stay for an extra breath, it feels so good. 1 more deep breath. Exhale, go ahead and roll onto your back. Come into some happy baby just to finish off. Bring your knees into your chest. There's a number of ways that you can hold this pose. So you can grab behind your knees. You can grab onto your ankles, your shins. You can grab onto your feet on the outside or grab onto your toes like a little hook. The main thing here is I don't want your feet together. They should be about wider than hip width apart, and the goal here is to get your knees to drive towards the ground. So however you hold it, you're gonna lean back, shoulders on the ground, head on the ground, drive those knees towards the mat. And breathe. Feel free to rock from side to side if you want, or not. Deep breaths. 3 more breaths. Release, grab onto those knees. Do some rocks from